Hi everyone, if you see this picture, there is a cake which is associated often with the birthdays, and the birthday is associated with your emotions. So anything which is related with the emotions is remembered for a longer period. This is the study which we are going to see today. If you see this picture for a second, you will have an emotion of happiness because the boy is laughing. But in this picture, if you just see as the girl is crying, you will feel little sadness. The same with this one. And if you see this picture, you will feel little calm. Everybody can feel the different things. So Canley's aim or purpose was to find whether emotive images, as we have seen pictures related with different emotions, will be remembered more or with little emotions. And he also wanted to see that amygdala, which is a part of our brain, is sensitive to different level of emotional intensity to external stimuli. And with that, the level of the emotional intensity, is it going to enhance the memory or is it going to decrease the level of the memory? There are two types of medical scans. The first is functional scans. It shows the activity level in different areas of the brain. And the second is structural scans, the detailed picture of the brain structure. Further, we are going to see the difference between fMRI's functional and MRI's structural. So the structure refers to the physical makeup of the body. MRIs, they create a picture of the body's interior structures. While if we see the fMRIs, those are functional, refers to the way the body moves and perform tasks, while fMRI records metabolic activity over time. So there is a difference between the structure and the activity. So the amygdala is related with your emotion and memory. And look at this picture. This is of a wedding. So this is related with your emotions and it will be remembered more in your memory. In 1998, Labar and Phillips, they suggested that emotional arousal, it can be you are feeling excited, happy or angry or any emotion which is just arousing, and it is going to help the process of memory consolidation. Memory consolidation basically from a temporary memory to a long lasting memory. After a year, Canley et al. Found that strong amygdala activation resulted in improved memorization of the causing stimuli. So he wanted to replicate the study with repeated measures design rather than independent, to make sure that the initial results were not due to chance. So we get to know that strong amygdala activation, that is equal to improved memorization. Let's look at the research method, design and variables. It was a laboratory experiment in which the repeated measure design was implemented, as participants were unexpectedly asked to repeat the procedure after 3 weeks. It was done to see the reliability and the validity of the experiment. The independent variable was the level of arousal of each picture shown. So in the first level and the second level, they were not emotionally intense picture at all, but in the third and fourth level, the pictures were emotionally intense. As you can see in this picture, the girl is laughing a lot, but on the other hand, if you see a man, he is screaming like anything. So these two pictures, they are just depicting the extremely emotionally intense picture. After seeing the independent variables, we are going to see the dependent variable. So the dependent variable was the fMRI measure of amygdala activation, and for each of the 96 scenes, also the 11 frames were captured and the memory of the scene after 3 weeks. So the sample was of 10 right-handed healthy female volunteers. So particularly the females were chosen because females are often thought to be more emotional and they got more physiological reactions, and the sampling technique was the self-selecting technique that was used. So look at the procedure now. The participants, they gave informed consent and were aware of the nature of the study, and also the individuals operating the fMRI scanners were trained and competent in the safety arrangement of the medical scans. Participants, they viewed their scene, these 96 scenes presented to them while they were in the fMRI scanner. All 96 scenes were from the International Effective Picture System. As you can see this picture, I have taken it from International Effective Picture System. So the first is, you can see the awe, then the excitement, anger, sadness, contentment, amusement, disgust and fear. And for each of the scenes they have used the valence. What is valence? Valence is basically the pleasantness or the unpleasantness of an emotional stimuli. And also the rating range to which they used, that was highly negative was 1.17 and neutral was 5.44. The order of the scene was randomized to help overcome order effects. Each picture was presented for 2.88 seconds, and in between these pictures the fixation cross was viewed, as you can see on your right side. During this, participants had to indicate their emotional arousal by pressing a button with their right hand. They had to choose from 4 buttons on a scale of 0 not emotionally intense at all and 3 is extremely emotionally intense. To measure activity in the brain, fMRI data were collected by a 1.5 Tesla fMRI scanner, which is used to measure blood oxygen level dependent contrast. Contrast imaging observe the different areas of the brain which are found active at any given time. After the 3 weeks, the participants were tested in an unexpected recognition test. They viewed the 96 scenes and 48 foils. Foils are basically the newly added pictures. Foils were selected to match previous scenes' valence ratings. Participants were asked to judge whether they had remembered it, felt it, was familiar or forgotten it. Now we are going to see the results. The correlation between participants' intensity rating and valence was minus 0.66. The correlation between participants' intensity rating and arousal, first we have seen the valence and now we are going to see the arousal was 0.68. So therefore, participants' rating of emotional intensity reflected well the valence and arousal characteristics of the stimuli. So the amygdala activation was significantly correlated. It is connected with the higher ratings of individually experienced emotional intensity. In the end, we can just see that amygdala activation is equal to experienced emotional intensity. The follow-up memory task indicated that memory performance was better for scenes highly emotional than the less emotional. The degree of left amygdala activation predicted whether the stimuli would be forgotten, appear familiar, or would be remembered. In the end, we can conclude that a relation between individual experience of emotionally intense for anything with amygdala activation and memory. So the more emotionally intense picture is or images or experiences, the more likely it will be remembered. This provides evidence to explain why people remembered emotionally intense experiences, for example, their wedding or their funeral or anything which is very intense. The amygdala is sensitive to emotional intensity of visual stimuli. The activity in the left amygdala during encoding is predictive of subsequent memory. So let's see the strengths and weaknesses of this experiment. As it was a lab experiment, there were standardized procedures. Participants rated the same scenes. The time each scene and interval was presented was the same. Hence, there is internal validity and there are few chances of confounding variables affecting the study. Quantitative data relating to amygdala activation and statistical analysis such as correlation analysis was collected. Therefore, the data is reliable, which is objective analysis, and easy to compare. So this experiment, it wasn't ecologically valid. The participants did not respond to demand characteristics, which increases validity. fMRI measures biological responses, which is an objective finding as the researcher does not have to interpret any results. However, we do not know much about the location of specific behaviors in the brain. The sample only consisted of right-handed female, therefore, this introduces participants' variable that could distort results and reduce validity. Thus, we cannot really generalize results to males and left-handed individuals as they may respond differently. So further, the weaknesses or the strengths we can see in the nature and versus nurture. The machines such as fMRI have been used to measure biological responses. The biological processes underlying emotions are a product of the brain and hormones. Or in other words, the biological process causes emotions are a product of the brain and hormones. However, there are differences between individuals' emotional responses. Differences can be due to hormone levels or experiences. So, we cannot exactly say that the differences are because of the hormone levels or the experiences. So further, we are going to see the individual and situational explanations. The situation over here, you can see a sad movie in which the people are crying. So our tendency is to cry at sad film indicates, it shows that situational factors matter in our expression of emotions. So although individual factors are present here too, not everyone cries at the same film. Thank you so much. And if you got any question, you can add in the comment box. See you in the next video.